Last night was the best night of my life. It was so fun. It was so fun to sit and laugh with that audience was just so wonderful. It was just so full of joy. I was like levitating in my seat, and the reception just was incredibly gracious. And I was so proud to be there with these guys and with some of our incredible crew, and to be here on the last Sundance in Park City is a major thing, and I don't take it lightly. There have been so many of my favorite movies have premiered in that theater at Eccles, which is a high school, which people don't know. It's in a high school, which is kind of amazing and surreal. But it's wonderful. And the whole thing feels like this memorial to Robert Redford, which is wonderful. The intention was to approach it like a play, to have the opportunity to workshop it together, to kind of live in the characters a bit, to have some time to rehearse, and then to be able to just live in every moment and overlap with anything that kind of came to mind to make it always feel authentic and natural. There was never an unnatural moment. And I think we were lucky. We had an incredible crew. Shout out to Steve Morrow, our sound mixer, who made that possible. And it was just, it was always our intention. We wanted to approach it like that.
Seth, can you tell us the story of you coming to this project and how the character of Joe really appealed to you?
Yeah, Olivia, we'd worked together on the studio and really, I think, did good work together and got along very well, and I think had a good dynamic. And then
despite screaming at each other.
Exactly, that's a big part of it. I like someone who I can scream at well. And yeah, she sent me the script and more so like described kind of a process that was incredibly exciting and really described like a very collaborative process and a period of time where we would kind of go through the characters and make them our own and even restructure the film in some ways to just kind of accommodate new ideas that were arising, you know? And it was, to me, really fun. I think Joe, I think I thrive comedically in situations where there's a lot of tension and pressure and sort of an underlying unnerving kind of impending doom of some sort, you know, and this was like perfect for that. I think what was great is by the time we were filming, I felt like we had constructed a scenario where, like, for me as a performer, like, I really felt like I was able to thrive and really attack the scenes with like a lot of confidence that what we had worked out would like work into the film in a way that served like the greater piece, you know? And so, yeah, it was like an incredibly collaborative process that was led by a very clear-headed director who wasn't afraid when things were changing and evolving, and instead really excited by that and embracing it, which is not how I direct things.
It did really feel like all of you got to kind of bring yourselves and your particular talents to these roles. Ed, I'm obsessed with the character of Hawk. He feels like one of those kind of wannabe gurus that you run into in LA, but kind of, you know, dialed down enough to be real. How did you get into this character?
Well, I loved Olivia's films, and I loved the way she presented her interest in the project was that there was this basic scenario, but that within it, she actually wanted us to use that as an armature and a jumping off point for Seth and Penelope and Olivia and I to bring our own lived experiences into it and our own ideas about relationships, baggage, stories. And in fact, I would say you talked about rehearsal, but
it wasn't rehearsal.
We were never moving around in the set.
Okay, then you say this, and I say this, and you say this.
Nor did we ever on our feet rehearse the scenes. What really
talked.
means we talked. We sat at a table and talked. Yeah. Penelope talked about menopause and all of it, and then she wrote that speech. And my character's name was Shane, but I have a friend named Hawk who changed his name because I said to Olivia, what about this idea that something happened to him and that who we see is a function of change that happened because he was he actually does relate to Joe, and we built on these ideas. And as Seth said, the thing that is sometimes a director's nightmare was Olivia's joy. And she was just saying, bring it all in and let's throw it into the soup. And I think a lot of ways what she did say, we need to get from here to here, but what happens in between is going to happen on its feet. And I'm not saying we're all like Arabian horses, but I would say the four of us have all been doing this a long time. And I think, and Seth and Olivia work together. Seth and I, of course, have, if you've seen Sausage Party, you know what our chemistry is like. Yeah, you know what we're capable of together. And I think, and it was funny. It's like, I feel like you said this once, but I almost feel like you work a lot of years to get to the point where you can earn doing something like this. And I felt we had a lot of veteran people who have kind of worked in the trenches of doing this kind of work for a long time. And I feel like we earned the capacity to do something like this. And it was really, it was such a total joy. Like, it really was like, it was a way you rarely get to work. And also it's dangerous because it might not work, but as the chemistry was coming together, it's like this positive feedback loop. You'd be like, oh my God, this is actually working, and it rose like that all the way to the end, to where in the final week, I think we were kind of jumping up and down going, we cracked it. I think we cracked it, but we weren't sure we had cracked it until the last scenes
night
were shot. Yeah. And I felt quite exuberant. I almost felt like the feeling you have at the end of a sports game where we were like, we think we figured it out, and it was really wonderful that way.
It does feel like a theater troupe, like such a deep level collaboration. When you say that Penelope wrote that menopause scene, I was like, I knew it, because the bit where she gets the olives, you're like, that is
and it was
amazing.
born out of like, I was being a dick. And like, so she's like, okay, if he's being such a dick, I would probably want to put him in his plate. Like, it was really born out of what was happening. And like, as we were performing the scenes. And again, the confidence it takes to be like, okay, like, here's what we've been shooting. He's a bit more of an asshole than maybe the script reflected, and a normal person would acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So we don't have that. So like, how would that be addressed? You know what I mean? And I think that's why it feels so real, because like the characters are always doing what you think people would do in those situations.
Yeah.
And they're never betraying like your projected reality, And I think that came from a very real-time collaboration and calibration of like, okay, here's what we're actually doing in real time. How would we, react to that? And does the script do enough to make the audience understand that we know how weird these situations are, And so that was always happening. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. I mean, Penelope came up with the olive thing, and I was like, she's a physical comedian.
Yeah.
She was so good with coming up with ideas of like business to do. She has a vape, she has glasses. She's like so good. She interacts with the environment in a way that a lot of actors are kind of afraid to do. They sort of prepare a performance and then they like bring it onto a set and they don't do anything with it. She was so... Like, there's one extended shot where she's just playing with a xylophone thing. Yeah. And that was just her kind of playing with the space and Seth reacting to her. And it was just a joy to just watch her be in the space. And that only happens when you have top tier talent like that.
Now that you've had this experience of kind of letting your actors fly in this particular way, how do you feel like that's influenced you as a director going forward? Has it kind of spoiled you for future projects?
You have to hire the best actors of all time, that's all. And then you can let them fly. No, I mean, I think that what this project taught me is that it's actually okay to have non-negotiables going into something and say, no, I want us to be able to have the time to workshop. I want us to shoot on film. I want us to shoot in order if possible, sometimes impossible, but I want to make every decision from the point of view of what is conducive to the best performances, what allows for that authenticity. I think so much of the time you're sort of deferring to the man as opposed, meaning like the studio or whatever, the money people. It's like, okay, sorry, I know that's probably impossible, it's too much to ask. And this time I was like, guys, what if we just do it the way we've always wanted to do it? And it was so rewarding that it made me think, that's what I want to do. It's impossible. It'll never happen again. But I'm really happy. I'm happy I had this
We did it this
experience.
time.
Yeah. It was like a potluck. It was like, it's not me making dinner for you guys and you sitting down and eating it. It's a full potluck, which is the best.
Is there any scene that you guys thought made it into the final cut that was a kind of one-off seat of the pants that you'd not even tried before? Because it felt like that happened
The
quite
large
a lot.
majority of the film.
So many of the dialogue,
The
so
tea.
much of the dialogue was improvised.
The
you know?
tea where you just go, fuck off, Hawk. Or
Shut the fuck up, Hawk. We all actually,
Right,
each
but
character
I was-
says, shut the fuck up, Hawk once.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, Hawk.
But
Yeah.
to really credit the boldness I think it takes to direct the way Olivia was directing, and kind of answer your question but give an example, the story that Hawk tells was something that I asked Olivia, could this be a dimension of him? And she was like, I love that idea because we're going to need a lever over into a slightly deeper final act, and maybe that helps get us there and everything. And I literally said, if I write something, if I come up with what happened to him and what it was, can I never show it to you, or Seth or Penelope, and can I do it? And she shot them listening to it, we did it first on them, and all of Olivia's tears and all of it are, but
all my cynicism.
I just yeah, his cynicism and sighing, this is much too long, Olivia crying, Penelope crying, whatever, but I just like really take in what it means for a director to say yes to a major point of the film, saying, yes, I don't need to hear it before you do it, just bring it in, and what it takes, in what's going on outside the bubble of our work with money people and studio people, to be saying, no, I'm not going to let you see what you're not going to ever get to see, a major point in the film that's not in the script and that we're just going to do together. I mean, it's like balls of steel to work that way, but to work that way with like confidence and
But it's also when you have, it's like coaching an NBA All-Star team. It's like you can trust that you have like LeBron, Kobe, and Scottie Pippen. You're like, I'm sure you guys will play well. I trust this game will go well.
I don't understand this reference. But I assume
You're
it's good.
Kobe.
we have to wrap it up, but before I let you go, I just want to ask you about dedicating the film to Diane and what
Yes.
moved you to
Yes.
do that.
I dedicated the film to Diane Keaton because she was such a major influence on me as an actress, and this character is so inspired by Diane. And yeah, I was heartbroken I couldn't show her the film, and I think she would have really loved everybody in it so much. And she was so encouraging to me as a director. She just told me to go for it, and we've lost one of the greatest ever. And so it felt very personal and very right to dedicate it to her. And what's so amazing is she's so iconic that all we say in the credits is for Diane in my handwriting, and everybody knows it's Diane Keaton. And I'm like, that's cool. If you can be on a first name basis with the audience, it's Diane.
Congratulations. I love this film. Everyone in that audience was laughing constantly. It was amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.